My name is Jacob Jepudi. In Inuktitut, I'm called Jaku, which is the translation of Jacob. And I was born and raised in Clyde River in 1951. I've seen some changes in this climate. Ice used to be much thicker when I was growing up. The average ice thickness used to be around 6 feet, maybe close to 7 feet during winter. Some glaciers where we used to see every year, because this is our annual hunting area where we hunt caribou every summer as we were growing up. One particular area in this fjord, there used to be maybe 20, 30 feet thick of glacier hanging from the cliff, but now it's totally gone. There used to be a lot of seals in this area. Now there's hardly any. It might be due to their diet. Their diet is no longer here. They're dying off.
And fuel is used to just to transport the fuel here. So on top of the whole process of getting the fuel out of the ground and getting the oil and all that extracted, it is then put on a ship where it is transported around the coast up to and around Baffin and then on here to Clyde, and it comes by ship.
My name is Carmen Barrio. I'm from Iqaluit, Nunavut. So my mother was born on the land. They lived in hammocks, they survived off the land. They were living in igloos, what they're calling history, where my mother was surviving off the land, born on the land. And in just a short period of time, we now have homes with greenhouses and solar panels, and just how quickly things have evolved in the north. It's so interesting to see and hear stories from my mom about living on the land and the teachings that she's learned, to now us living in such a modern society where I'm pretty much learning how to live a modern lifestyle with my mother, because this is all new to her as well. So that's a very interesting way to think of it. Why am I not experiencing the weather that I had when I was a child? Why are we not getting as much snow as we used to in the winters? And why is it getting so warm in the summers now? When I think of climate change, I think of the tides rising. And one thing I would always worry about is our grave sites or homes that are closer to the beach, like what kind of losses would we have? And the biggest loss for me would be this graveyard because I have family buried here. You know, I wouldn't be able to go visit them anymore. There's many uses for the kulik. It's a traditional oil lamp that was typically for the woman to light and maintain for the family. They would use the kulik, of course, for light. It was a source of heat. Today, a lot of people use it just as a way to kind of bring people together, kind of like an icebreaker for the group. If you're doing a big group, it's a good icebreaker for someone to just sit there, like the kulik, do a prayer. If a prayer is something that the group wants, or just do like teachings of the kulik, or just to teach traditional knowledge in general. It resembles icebergs melting. It resembles there's places around the world that are having forest fires and stuff, like, so it can interpret so many things for climate change.
My name's John Naudluck. I live in Iqaluit, Nunavut, 20 years old, and I've been living here my whole life. Grew up hunting with my dad. He taught me everything I know now. We'd hunt seals, polar bears, caribou, walrus, anything that we could eat. In the wintertime, we'd take our skidoos, whatever it was, and we'd have a kamutik attached, which is like a toboggan, and we'd bring a dome tent in case there was an emergency and we needed to stop. We bring a canvas tent, which was like a big 5-person tent we just sleep in. A Coleman stove, it's like a little portable stove, a cooler full of food, water, toiletries, a bag of clothes, and a sleeping bag. There's a lot more water. I don't know if that really has anything to do with climate change, but I find that there's a lot more water in the summer. It's a lot deeper. Some of the islands that we used to use as markers aren't there anymore. Like, they're completely gone. In the winter, it's a lot more mild. We still get a lot of snow, but it's very, very mild here now. Like, I want to learn how to build an igloo, and I want to learn how to live off the land like they did, and I just find that I can't do that as easily as they used to. We can become more efficient with what we use. Natural resources. They were in the talks of bringing windmills here, but for some reason they didn't end up doing it. Inuit do most of their hunting in the wintertime because that's what most of the year is here. And if that were to deteriorate, a lot of things would change here.
That pointy stick that he's holding is known for a harpoon. And his dad actually grew up out on the land. He grew up on an outpost camp called Allen Island. And when he was a kid, they would have to hunt for their own food. and they would go seal hunting with the harpoon, and they would go out into the middle of the ocean in just little kayaks, and they would get so close to the seals that they would have to harpoon them with that stick. Obviously, they don't really use harpoons anymore because guns are more efficient.
We were just walking along the beach and we came across this sod house, imagining that we were in the sod house. There would be a roof covering all the areas, but in this picture, it's covered in half just to see what it would be inside. Looking over the Violet Island, I would think that he's like wondering how he's going to teach his son on how to hunt in the future. There's a mining company just outside of Pond Inlet that mines iron ore, and now we're just worried. It's like jeopardizing the marine mammals with their habitats and their mitigation ways.